Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
July 31, 2020, the Crush the Competition edition. First up, from the Financial Times, current FIFA president Gianni Infantino is facing criminal investigation as a part of an escalating judicial investigation which has rocked the Switzerland legal system and shaking FIFA. Swiss Special Prosecutor Stefan Keller said yesterday he had concluded, following a review of 4 complaints, there was sufficient evidence of criminal conduct by Mr. Infantino and the Swiss Attorney General to warrant a full-blown investigation. This concerns abuse of public office, breach of official secrecy, and assisting offenders, and incitement to act. Mr. Keller has now formally applied to Swiss lawmakers to lift the Swiss Attorney General's immunity and allow a case to be brought to trial. As the president of FIFA, Infantino has been severely criticized for allowing the ongoing corruption to continue starting a long time ago, but certainly perpetrated by his boss. And if he is found guilty, it will be a serious black eye and may well lead to the disbanding of FIFA as it controls way too much money. Next up, from the Washington Post, Bill Barr's corruption has been unmasked. When the Attorney General delivered his long-awaited statements and testimony to the House committee, he engaged in clever hair-splitting obfuscation, as good attorneys do, but it did not protect him, as he has now functioned as Trump's chief defender. And so this has unmasked his corruption, that his misrepresentation and misrepresentations not only to the American people, but to the Congress. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Bill Barr going forward. Next up, from Slate, they have a interview with Zephyr Teachout, the New York law professor who has been after big tech for many years. And what she has made it clear, and rather big tech, particularly Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, made clear in the congressional hearings, is that they are there to crush all competition. And Facebook will basically do anything to crush any competition, steal any ideas, and engage in a wide variety of a competitive behavior to do so. Whether Congress will do anything, of course, well, this is Congress. And finally, from the Wall Street Journal, employers across the country are being sued by families of workers who contend their loved ones contracted lethal cases of COVID-19 on the job. Walmart, Safeway, Tyson's Food, and some healthcare facilities have been sued for gross negligence or wrongful death since the pandemic began. Employees' loved ones contend that the company failed to protect them from the deadly virus, which, of course, in most cases is true. In many states, you can only sue your employer for gross negligence based upon a employee death on the job. And so many companies have denied that these workers obtained or got COVID-19 on the job, which, of course, particularly in the meatpacking industries, is antithetical to what actually happened or the facts on the ground. But the bottom line is this could cost companies and their insurers millions of dollars because of the deaths that occurred on the job when, particularly in February and March, companies did little to nothing to protect workers who were deemed essential and had to continue working going forward. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Daily Compliance News, which is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio.